beautiful people. Thank you for joining our show. This is Hoosier Faithful with Jason Simpson and Chase Simpson. And what a weekend it was. First time we've won a Big Ten championship in a long time. 1947. The first time we beat Ohio State in 30 years. I was just a wee young lad just moving here from northern New York. Wow. This has been an amazing time for Hoosier fans. Hoosier fanatics, Hoosier faithful. Let's go. So we're going to get into the show right now. We got some really good news coming up here. We have the stats of the game against Ohio State, throw in the injury report, and we'll talk about some CFP preview. And go ahead, Chase. Go with what you want to say first, and then we'll get into everything.
Okay. So, with some overlooking with some, a couple friends of mine and whatnot, we come to hear that there's some people that don't know what the hell they're talking about in college football, especially towards Indiana. You know who that might be?
I don't know. Surprise me.
Brandon? Whoever. Is it Brendan Walker?
Are you talking about the guy that's on Barstool?
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
That guy needs to start watching more football.
Watch it.
He had us. He was talking crap about us against Oregon, right?
Right.
Called Oregon to have that game, right? And then called saying that our guys aren't skilled enough to beat Ohio State. That last time that our head coach was in this predicament, he chokes up and looks like a deer in headlights. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. That didn't work out very well for him.
No, that's two. That's two, right? I understand. I started watching more stuff about him. He praised us after that game. But you also dick rode us on the second time, the first time when we beat Oregon, after you were wrong again.
Yeah.
And Fox, have we not proved enough to you? We just took out the number one team in the country. Just took them right out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was a breeze.
Yeah. But we won. Yeah. It wasn't a great game, but we won. And either way.
Your beautiful saying coming from Ohio State got sacked 5 times.
And then
Bo Jackson couldn't even run the ball where he was going.
Right.
The most time that he got out of there with their little wide receivers got 255 yards, passing yards?
Right. And a lot of those yards, 258, but a lot of those yards were on the very last play in the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That was most of their receiving yards.
We had 118 rushing yards to their 58.
Yeah.
There's your number one team, guys. You guys need to start watching more film and more football.
More film, more football. Yeah. Well, they don't. They just get they get handed the information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get handed the information. They don't sit there and watch film on both teams. They don't watch film on teams coming up. They just get what's handed to them with a sheet of paper.
Fernando Mendoza was 15 for 23, 1 TD, 1 interception. Right. Julian Sain was 21 for 29, 1 TD, 1 interception.
And 258 is kind of bloated because of that last play, too.
Yeah. Charlie Becker had six catches. Jeremiah Smith had 8.
Right.
126 receiving yards. And Jeremiah Smith only had 144.
Right.
Hardy, our linebacker, had 10 tackles, 6 solo. Styles had 7 solo.
Yeah, he played. Hardy played out of this world, and it's great that we're going to have him for a couple more years.
But realistically, and if you guys watched film and how much we opened up Ohio State, and you all are talking about you guys are going to beat Georgia, Georgia's more brutal than Indiana. I'm sorry, I said it.
Yeah, Georgia's a damn good football
But they're
team all
gonna
around.
break you down. You guys only had 6 in total before you came and met against Indiana. You guys are talking about, they're a bunch of 0 to 2 stars. Those 0 and 2 stars just beat the number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
As predicted.
This year, I think we had something like 33 3-stars.
That just calls it, there it is.
You know.
First time, at least in my lifetime, Indiana is now number 1 in the country.
In all lifetimes, we've never been number 1 in the country.
Never been?
Never.
All right. First time in a lifetime. Indiana is now number 1 in the country.
First time in a lifetime that we might have the Heisman Doza. We might have the Heisman. First time in a lifetime we might have going into the national championship. First time in a lifetime we've won 13 games in a row. I mean, first. Now I'll admit when we first started this season, we had a discussion, and I'll admit that I said 9-3, and you said 10-2. They exceeded our expectations, big time.
Yeah.
They really did. Indiana exceeded our expectations, and this is coming from a guy that's been a fan of IU football since 1987, 88. You know, been a football fan for IU for a long time. When we moved here from Northern New York, we usually were Syracuse fans up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of the family was Notre Dame fans because there's a lot of Notre Dame fans that are up in that area. In Western and Northern New York, there's a lot. But became an Indiana fan, got to see some Bill Mallory, some great players come through, Wally, Antoine Randall L., the list goes on and on. Anthony Thompson, the list goes on and on of some great players that came in here. We've seen some great players since then come in here that are really good players, and playing in a Big Ten East that was really a really hard schedule every year. We were playing every year, and Coach Allen couldn't get the money to back him. Ends up getting gone, and now we have Kurt Signetti and his coordinators and the whole support staff, comes in and does an amazing job, and it looks like we're going to be keeping our whole staff home because of the recent hires in the big conferences. So I think that we'll be keeping our coordinators here. Well, I got off a tangent there. Okay, I want to get back to the stats. One thing that I noticed on film that I really like when I rewatched the IU Ohio State game is how many times our running backs picked up
The block.
the blitz.
Yeah.
And blocked. Both Hemby and Black did an amazing job picking up blocks. Charlie Becker doesn't get that throw, and Fernando doesn't make that throw if we don't pick up them blocks. So those guys, I give you a round of applause playing complimentary football.
I think after that hit,
Yeah, that hit, man.
somebody tore in the running backs. Like, that happens again, it's not going to be very nice.
Yeah, that hit. I mean, that scared the death out of me. I was like, oh, we're done.
Yeah, he was talking, Fernando Mendoza was talking on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and he was like, he rocked me.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
I saw
pause. He said, he wrecked me. No, pause.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought I broke a rib.
Yeah.
And Pat was like, was it one of those moments? He goes, yeah, it was one of those. Because I didn't see him until the last second. It felt like a train with no brakes hit me. And it's really funny to me, too, because one of my good buddies, Reese Ennis, played football against Curry, and he said he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
And Reese, my father can say, is a big boy.
Big boy.
He could have easily gone D1 if he had a motivation to.
If he had the motivation to, he could have been a D1 offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
And he has good feet, good base.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt in my mind that he would have been a starter in a Division I football program somewhere.
Yeah. But he said Curry was a freak of nature whenever he played him. And
he was then. He is still.
Yeah.
That kid is something special. Local Indianapolis kid. So he was a really good high school player, and on film, I was just flabbergasted. That kid's gonna go play in the professional league and do really well.
Yeah.
I really do think that, because in the professional league you don't get doubled up a lot.
Right.
So.
But hey, we stopped Ohio State from having not national, but a Big Ten championship game.
And people who say that doesn't, like, they didn't care. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to Ohio State they lost. I'm like, come on, bullshit.
Oh man,
I swore. Oh no.
it's the same thing that Ohio State does whenever they lose a game or they choke up on a game. Oh, it didn't matter too much to them. Don't lie. Y'all are so petty. If we would have personally lost this game, we'd be like, yeah, like this one sucks. It hurts,
right.
And it's time to move on, and we learn from our mistakes.
Right.
However, Ohio State fans are so entitled, we're to the point they're like, oh, they didn't care. We'll meet you the national champion. Y'all have to go against Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this now. They have to go against Georgia because they get another cupcake walk to the national title.
Right.
Okay. So how about you guys worry about Georgia first, who I think is going to dismantle y'all? Because guess what? I'm not Fox, but I watch film.
Right.
Constant film. Guess what I was doing last night, Dad?
Watching
film. On both. On Alabama, on Oklahoma, looking at Georgia for Ohio State. If they came in and walked the same that they did against that Alabama team, Dad, they're going to dismantle their front.
They are.
They are going to dismantle them. Like, this is one of the teams that I hope personally that we don't have to go against. Because everything in our little weak points we have, they have.
Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those games where,
right.
Ohio State.
Yeah, because they play the winner of Texas A&M and Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That Texas A&M team, I'm gonna see what that is, but I don't think they're as good as, I think Miami might win that game.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a 50-50 shot. Texas A&M comes out like they have during the season.
Right.
They might use their speed against Miami. Miami had a lot of trouble against a few teams that had a lot of speed to them.
Yeah. With defensive speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that one's questionable. Anyhow, on our stats, and I'll take this.
Okay.
So on first downs, we had 17. Ohio State also had 17. Third down efficiency was 6 for 13. Ohio State 4 for 12. Fourth down efficiency was 1 for 1. We got on fourth down. We got a first down. Ohio State was 0 for 1. That's what they choked up on. It was turnover on downs.
Right.
Choked up on. Total yards we had was 340, so Ohio State's 322. Passing was 222 to 264. Mendoza went 15 for 23. Julian Sain went for 22 for 30. Yards per pass was 9.7 to 8.8. Julian and Mendoza both had 1 for 1 on interceptions thrown. This is something I love right here. Rushing 118 to 58.
Yeah, our run defense once again was amazing.
Amazing. Mwah. Like, if I can come up and kiss all y'all on your forehead right now, I would.
I'm not going to kiss any of those guys on the forehead.
I'm going to.
No.
I'm going to die. I don't care. I will do it.
Yeah.
We had penalties were kind of iffy on us. We're 5 for 49, but
way overall, we had more penalties, I think, than we've had all year.
well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. It's been like this every single year. Every year against Ohio State. Y'all want to say we were holding y'all? We were playing your game the whole time.
Right.
All right. There is a picture of Black in a face mask.
Yeah.
All right. Coach was sitting there throwing a fit, not because of what Kamara did. It was the fact that Kamara made a play on something because he was getting held and he fell down and almost took out a lineman's leg.
Yeah.
That's what Coach was yelling out.
Yeah, I understand that totally. I mean, I agree with Coach totally. There was a bunch of holding going on all game long.
Pass interference.
They
a way to go, Ciroc, to sit there and still get held during that pass interference and still catch that ball for a touchdown.
Yeah, but that was a great job.
We opened up their cornerbacks like no tomorrow. Those matchups that they had. Is that my grandpa?
No.
Those matchups that we had, the one-on-one matchups, marvelous.
Yeah.
Becker, boy, I can't wait to see you whenever you come back next season, because your face is gonna be on that screen.
Right.
What? It's the neighbors?
No, it's fine.
Okay. But
it was a city truck. It's good.
But for turnovers, obviously it was interceptions, 1 for 1. There was no fumbles, which I'm very happy about. Our time of possession was 29 minutes and 47 seconds. Theirs was 30 for 13 minutes. 30 minutes for 13 seconds.
About that even.
About dead even.
Right. But yeah. Like I said, I was really proud of our team as a whole. Our offensive line was beat up, and we had alternates coming in through the game. And I was really proud of the guys that came in and played and did well.
Yeah, it was like you called it, that last 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Was a absolute shit show. Granted, I was about 10 beers deep, pacing back and forth, acting like I was coaching.
Right.
But my fiance wanted to let me go over to Kirkwood, which I should have anyway. But Indiana winning that game was big for us. Not only that, but for their fans, for our fans.
Yeah.
And man, after that game was done, I was tearing up.
I was too. I don't tear up much, but that time I was a little tear in my eye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing for someone like me who's been going to games for, like I said, season ticket holder, probably 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
And, before that, we go sparingly before, 25 years ago, but then we've been season ticket holders since then.
Yeah.
And it was just overwhelming how proud I am of the whole team.
It was truly the whole Big Ten against Ohio State.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Michigan and Illinois and Purdue and all of them were sitting here praising us.
Yeah.
About this game, because they knew, truly what team that Ohio State was going against.
Right.
And, granted, I can't give a lot of shit to a lot of Barstool. I can't give a lot of shit to Fox. I can't give them, you know what I mean? I can't do that. I mean, I can. Freedom of speech. And, the actual outlook of, living with two coaches my whole life.
Right.
Out of anybody that deserved this championship more was Indiana.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It was definitely Indiana by itself. But go ahead, Dad, take this away. It's a phone call that I need to.
Okay. I'll take this away now. Wanted to talk a little bit about the conference football championship. I can't believe when we're going to get into this. I want to know what people think. What do you think about this matchup of Oklahoma and Alabama? I mean, watching on film, I've watched a little bit, not much, but watching what I have watched, Oklahoma seems like they have a decent offense and a really good defense, which that's an advantage for IU. Alabama depends on which team shows up. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, some weeks they're great, some weeks they're not. I hate to do that because I have the utmost respect for their coaching staff. Two of them are former IU coaches. Of course, Kalen was the offensive coordinator. Womack was the defensive coordinator, and they're both good men, and they teach well. But it's gonna be interesting to see on who wins that game. This format that we're in for the college football playoff is going to be really interesting for us because we have a we're in the bracket where we could play Oregon or Texas Tech or Oklahoma, Alabama. I mean, we have a tough road ahead of us.
Yeah, we have the tough road, but sorry, I'm bad, guys. Trying to get everything settled together for our trip coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have a really good, well, not really good, a tough road ahead of us with this bracket, which, me personally, I like to see Oklahoma go against us.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, out of the two teams, I'd rather play against Oklahoma.
One thing I don't agree with, and it's just me, other people can disagree with me on this, Oregon's having a cakewalk to at least the Capital One Orange Bowl. James Madison, they're a decent, pretty level team. If they pull off an upset, that might be a bigger upset versus us versus Ohio State.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. So if that happens, and say Oregon wins, they go and play Texas Tech at the Capital One Orange Bowl. Obviously, we'll have to beat Alabama or Oklahoma. But if that does happen, I see Oklahoma coming, pulling through. That means we'll play the winner of that game if we win against Oklahoma or Alabama.
Right. I see Oregon versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech's a damn good football team all around.
Yeah.
They are. They are. I mean, they're all three phases, or I usually say 4 phases. People get kind of confused about that, right? It's offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. That's 4 phases for me. Most people say 3 phases of the game. No, there's 4 phases.
There's 4 phases. It's a game of checkers if you really think about it. Or a game of chess. You have coaches are the ones that are playing that game between each other.
Right. But so they are good in all 4 phases. There's a number of teams in the field this year that their coaches are going to be going somewhere else to coach.
Yeah.
So throw that mix in there. Anything can happen. Including in Ohio State and Oregon, both losing coordinator, and Oregon losing both their offensive defensive coordinators, both.
Yeah.
To other teams. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting playoff. And I like to say this. All this talk about Notre Dame, I just wanted to bring this in here because it's important to me. Notre Dame buying out, not wanting to go to a bowl game because the coaches and the captains of the team, the captains met with the coaches and said, we don't want to play this because we have too many people that are going to the NFL, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. I call bullshit. I call that they're have a sour puss because they didn't get in the college football playoff and join a conference. I mean, I've been saying it for years.
Right.
Join a conference.
I'm on the same ground as you. Right now Notre Dame reminds me of that one kid who brings a football to play in a football field and then gets hit hard and says, "I'm taking my football home." Like y'all need to stop being pussies about this. You know,
Yeah.
you guys. So granted, you guys didn't make the college football playoff.
Right.
I get it. You guys can be upset about that. But why can't you guys go to that bowl game, dominate the bowl game, and give ESPN and analytics the reason why they should have came? Granted, you guys lost those first 2 games, and that hurt you guys pretty bad. And then you guys had that 10-win streak. Cool. But I see why they put in Miami. They beat you,
Right.
which shouldn't have happened.
Right.
You guys talking all this smack. Yeah, you beat Syracuse. Huge. I get it. Whatever. But y'all need to join a conference and get into a conference. You can't say, "Oh, we've tried. People had invited us and we declined it." Y'all declined it because it was easier back then to get a good bowl game.
Right.
Now it's not like that.
Yeah.
Next year might be different. There's talks about there might be a 16-team playoff instead of a 12.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. I mean, to do that, you have to almost get rid of the conference championships. And have play-in games that way. I do think that I hate to say this too because I don't want that again, but the Big Ten might have to go to East and West, and the winners play each other. I don't care for that, but
No. But back on it, you got James Madison versus Oregon. Like, love James Madison. I'm happy, what they created.
Yeah.
But you guys playing against App State, and then playing these schools, Oregon's gonna look at you as bait.
Yeah.
You guys have talent, but you don't have that kind of talent.
Yeah, then they'll use the argument of what Coach Cignetti's players that came over here did really well. You know what I mean? They'll use that. But the thing is Coach Cignetti would tell you, I believe. I mean, I can't talk for the man.
Right.
But he would tell you that, yeah, we had some players that were really good, but we didn't have a bunch of players that were really good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Bobby Chesney's leaving. He's leaving. He's going to UCLA.
Granted to him, he said, "If we make it to college football playoff, I'll coach you guys all the way through."
That was really high. That was really high. Great for him to do that.
Because you guys are now looking at Ole Miss, who doesn't have a coach right now. Now it's time for them to lock in and go do this, which is the hardest time of the year.
Right.
Like, that's something that I never understood. Now, if I was going to coach a team, I would coach them until the first game, until the last game.
That's when my job's over.
That's when my job's over.
Right.
You guys can't make all these promises and push and push and push and do what Ole Miss did, and then go to LSU. If they would have tried to force me with that kind of money, all right, yeah, I might take consideration, like, okay, this and this, but I promised these boys what I wanted to do, what my dream was, my expectation, and I'm staying with you guys up until this last game.
Right, and there's reports that Lane Kiffin was told, you take it now or you don't get it. I would have said, okay, I'm fine.
Like, you have to think about the bonuses that these head coaches get coming into the football playoff like this.
Yeah.
Winning the championship game, I think Coach was getting like an extra $500,000 from winning the championship game.
Yeah.
And then you have, going to the college football playoffs. Say we pull off this win against Alabama or Oklahoma, he gets like $1 million bonus. Like, this is what I don't understand coming from coaches. It just shows me purely that you're not interested in actual football and the boys that are playing for you. You're more interested about the money.
Well, yeah, I mean, money is important, I mean, but I don't think this Lane Kiffin thing was about money. Is that he wanted to be in a national championship. He wanted to get into a national championship, and LSU has more money than they know what to do with. They might have more money than IU. I mean, literally, not as much as Texas Tech.
No.
But yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's kind of upsetting that
And Notre Dame would have played BYU if they didn't opt out. That would have been such an easy win for Notre Dame.
That would have been an easy one, but it would have been a good one.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I get that you have all your captains saying they don't want to play. I would have said when.
Yeah.
Like, go and play this game. This is especially the seniors.
Well, another thing you have to look at it like is this: you guys are getting paid by us to play.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid by the NFL right now. You're getting paid by us.
Like, y'all made fun of us whenever we lost against y'all, in the college football playoff. You know what I mean? Y'all got upset about that, but we said, all right, we're gonna come back bigger and better. Well, I think we hold that statement. We came back bigger and better, and I get where you guys are upset. You guys didn't make the college football playoff, but y'all did that to yourself.
Right.
If you guys would have won against Miami, you guys would have been in. And that was something I said whenever they lost to Miami. And there goes your college football playoff hopes.
Well, if they were, the argument I have is if they were in a conference and they went 10-2, they'd be in.
Yeah.
And what it mattered? If they were 10-2, they would have been in a conference. They would have been in.
Yeah.
If they would have had a conference championship game, they would have been in.
Yeah.
So all this crap that's going on in college football right now is just, to me, it's just like, wow, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen next year. But right now, this year, I want us to, we have 3.5 weeks, I think, until our next game. That we need our guys to go in training room, get worked up because it's been a long, hard season. We've had a lot of physical football games that we've had to play in. And we got some dingers out there. We got some guys with some dingers. So I really hope that we can get our offensive line in, our defensive line. There's reports going out there that Stephen Daly hurt his leg in the celebration of the Big Ten championship somehow. That he was reported to be on crutches, an ankle or a leg brace. God, I hope that would hurt. That would hurt us. I mean, there's some good guys that are behind him that could step up and play. I see, and so they're young players, but they're capable players.
Yeah.
So, but I hope that we get our kinks worked out for our players that are hurt. Especially the offensive line. We rotated in a lot of linemen in this last game, and different linemen. So we're down to like number 7, which is amazing to me that we have that much depth this year because we've never been like this with depth on both sides of the ball. We have depth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if DePage will play. He's a big kid, 6'6", 260. I don't know what we'll do. Maybe Kamara's little brother. I mean, he's a smaller kid, so I don't know. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I just hope and pray that all of our guys, can get some rest, get in the training room, get to watching film. I don't know what the schedule will be for Coach Sig right now because there's so much time in between. If it was me, I'd have him come into the training room, get rest, do some weights, stuff like that, keeping your body fresh, do some walkthroughs maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I know Mendoza said they were having a team meeting yesterday about 4:00.
Oh, did he say that?
So, and Coach said we're gonna treat this as like it's a Friday, game. We're gonna, do some short week stuff and get down to the nitty gritty after we figure out who we're playing, and that's when we get, start putting some time in. Rest right now is what these guys need at the moment.
Right.
It's a hard fought battles all season long.
Yeah,
this last game was a hard fought battle, 13-10. Was it was huge,
very physical game.
very physical game. So yeah, I think right now a little bit of rest, a little bit of weights, keeping your body fresh. This is something that we need. Anyway, I don't know if you've been watching the transfer portal right now.
Not really. I've been not, because there's a lot. I know it doesn't open up in January 6th, I think.
Believe so. A lot of talent in this transfer portal right now.
Yeah,
A lot of talent.
there's a lot of players in there. One thing I have to give props to is the Indiana, recruiting and staff, the Indiana coaching staff, of being able to find talent out there and filling holes that we need.
Yeah, and I feel like that this year is going to be pretty huge for us. And
The 2027 recruiting class is
It's
gearing up
nuts.
to be unbelievable. The 2026 recruiting class is big for us. I don't purely look at stars on
no,
players, but when I look at film on some of these players that are coming in, they're the typical type of person that you want to have on your team. The guys that bring the lunch bucket every day, that work hard and want to learn and wait their turn.
yeah, and that's something that you have to have. We're at this point now. Where we need to have this fast, physical, relentless guys come into Indiana University and play football.
Right.
And have that discipline like coach always wants. And I can see it in his eyes. He's not going to recruit you if you do the same, cocky stuff that you did in high school, kind of like what Jeremiah Smith and Tate, all of them were celebrating. Becker only did it because y'all were doing it.
Yeah,
and I still.
Last year, the quarterback did that to us. He put a big cigarette in his mouth, put it down, and threw it down on the ground, and stomped it out.
And said, "Google that."
Google that, yeah.
And
so and Ohio State's been chirping all week about, ever since the game on Saturday, about Charlie Becker doing that.
Yeah. So what about last year, buddy?
What about last year? Yeah.
But thought you guys didn't like to bring up the past.
Yeah.
Well, buddy, you guys got manhandled by 0 to 2 stars, and y'all got shown who's boss. So throw any excuse you want, but
throw excuses in there. We won the game.
that clock hit 0-0-0, 13-10,
Yeah.
and guess who walks out a Big Ten Conference Championship game?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very interested to see what's going on with Daly. I've been searching everywhere for it. Nothing has popped up.
Yeah.
So, rest, get off of that thing, get some weights, a little bit of recovery, and
Ice
be
and
all
heat.
right.
Ice and heat. Ice and heat.
Yeah, ice and heat. Yeah.
And
That's currently what I'm doing right now.
Cortisone. No, I don't. No, I shouldn't say that. But yeah, when I was a hockey player, that would be the common thing. You go into the locker room and the manager just, we need the shot at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
but yeah,
the CFP, sure, every single Hoosier, Michigan fan, Purdue, obviously sees what we're facing versus what Ohio State's versing. They have to choose. Well, whoever wins, number 10 Miami versus number 7 Texas A&M. And then Georgia gets Ole Miss and Tulane, which I kind of disagree with Tulane being there. Texas A&M and Miami, I could see why.
yeah.
Tulane and James Madison, I don't see why. I personally don't. But I guess this all comes down to what we're gonna see. They play December 20th at 3:30. So that's gonna be an interesting game. You got Oklahoma and Alabama December 19th at 8 o'clock. You have Oregon and James Madison December 20th at 7:30. It's gonna be some fun matchups going on.
Yeah.
What do you think? Alabama, Oklahoma, who do you got?
It's just hard for me. It's a coin flip on what Alabama team will show up.
Well, Oklahoma has their home field advantage.
Right.
So, and I mean,
it's still a coin flip for me because it depends which Alabama shows up. They're like two different teams.
Yeah.
Every week, you never know what team's going to show up.
Right.
I mean, God, how many years have we watched Indiana the same way?
Yeah.
It's a coin flip. Which team is going to show up?
So it's going to be interesting. Oklahoma beat Alabama in the regular season 23-21.
Yeah.
It was a hard, fast, physical game that they both played.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Now Alabama and Oklahoma get that rerun again to play Indiana. So that's going to be...
That's going to be a physical game, boys.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hard-hitting game because both have a lot on the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. It's a different breed there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It is. So I think that I'm gearing more towards. I don't know.
I'm gearing
Oklahoma. I'm going gearing towards Oklahoma, but it's going to be a close game. You know,
I don't know. I kind of disagree. As much as I want Oklahoma to win, I think Alabama's going to pull up on an upset. Just based on, you have the protege of Alabama, Chris Getty, over, then you hear all that talk between him and Alabama and all that stuff. Some reason I'm starting to think this is a little rigged at the moment.
Rigged? Do you think that they're going to rig it to have Alabama versus Indiana?
It just makes way too much sense for it to be true.
Yeah.
How did Alabama, who's a 3-loss team, get in the college football playoff versus someone else probably better? Ole Miss playing Tulane, that's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Like, Georgia's getting a pretty decent walkthrough. Georgia, manslaughter Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So, that gets them to wherever they need to be. And I really hope to see Georgia and Ohio State face off because it's going to expose Ohio State again. And like we said, we don't see Ryan Day getting fired.
Right.
But you got beat by an Indiana team, snapped a 30-year record, and then Georgia coming in and walking all over you. And I'm calling it as I see it just based off film. I'm not just for Indiana. I'm for all of college football.
Right.
And I
agree with that, though. I mean, on film, I really see that Georgia will expose because Indiana exposed them.
Yeah.
And now Georgia is gonna with I think better talent than us.
Yeah.
They have better talent than us.
They have more rhythm too.
More rhythm, and they're really good defense, really good quarterbacks, good offense, really good offense.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games where I'm sitting here thinking to myself, all right, who's waking up today?
Yeah.
Georgia, they're thirsty. They are thirsty. They want it so bad.
They're playing thirsty. They are. The whole, and they're playing as a team.
Yeah. Which is huge.
Individuals. It's like Indiana is. They play as a team, as one unit, not as individuals.
Right.
And where these other teams, i.e. Ohio State, you really can tell that there's players on that team that are saying, I want the ball. I want the ball. Give me the ball. You know what I mean? Force the ball to me. I'll get it. And that doesn't work anymore. I mean, because everybody last week was like, I don't see, Smith and Pons. I see Smith dominating Pons. They played together in high school, and because of the height difference, and they were saying that. And
Pons locked him down other than one time, and again, it was on busted coverage.
Busted coverage, yeah. But and saying another kid I like to shout out for is Jamari Sharp.
Yeah,
he's been not he's not been talked about a lot. We've talked about him on here. You know, he's done a very good job this year. You know, and another player that hasn't been talked about a lot is our why did I just blank it? Hardy.
Yeah,
Hardy was playing amazing too. Isaiah Jones.
Jones,
Isaiah Bones Jones has been in there.
Hell of a game. What interested me the most about Bones Jones during the Ohio State game is how he ran across the field to go get Sayin and actually ended up with a sack.
Yeah.
And he was fast. I didn't realize how fast Bones Jones was, but he got up there in his top max, easy, probably 4.6, 4.7, and he got there where he needed to be to make that sack. So Jones, attaboy. A new kid, his name's Brady. He's a wide receiver for Indiana.
He's a freshman.
Yeah, he had a really good game. Yeah, he had a hell of a game, and I'm very. No, he's a senior this year, Jonathan Brady.
Jonathan Brady, yeah. What was that other kid's name?
LeVar Keys,
No.
Cortez Ruber. I'm only that's classic. Oh, that's 26.
Doesn't matter now. I can't believe I drew a blank.
Lee Baron, Bond, Davion Chandler, Miles Kendrick, Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True freshman. But people don't see too.
Omar Cooper's only a junior?
Yeah. Coop's a junior, and so Coop will be back. BB. If Coop wants to come back, I don't know if he will or not because his draft status went way up. And that's another thing that I really wanted to talk about maybe in future episodes is that we, for the first time, in the last 8 years, we haven't had draft picks, 8 draft picks.
Yeah.
And this year, we might have 8 draft picks.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. That just amazed me. And so that's good too. Some of our players that are come unnoticed, our offensive line. You got to give props to Coogan because people don't realize, but as a center, he's picking up the defensive tendencies at the line and calling plays.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really good center, and he should get more noticed for that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that he does get noticed for the pros because he deserves it. Because I tell you what, as a center or a guard, he'd do really well in the pros.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
And it's interesting to me during the Ohio State game again. Coogan gave a wide open hole for Black to get up there and have a decent run. That actually altered us to having that field goal to win our game. Those guys in the front are very important, and it seems like we're gonna be losing just him.
Yeah.
Hill Benson. I mean, I was a little confused at first why they weren't having him in, but then again, they're substituting him back and forth there for a while.
I think his ankle's still sore.
Yeah. Tough kid, but yeah, this is just super interesting to me. How it is for our upcoming team for next year. I mean, looking at the juniors, Labibi, well, he got hurt, so I'm interested to see how he's gonna do next year. You got Omar Cooper, Tyler Morris. Morris is a good wide receiver. We have no tight ends. I'm seeing this over here. All 3 of our tight ends are seniors this year, so we're probably on a hunt for another. I mean, we have 2 freshmen, but
they're Yeah.
That slot is a little low right there. We're losing a lot, so I'm interested to see what we get out of that. A lot of our team that we are going to win this, these next games are staying, which makes me very excited for next season already.
We're losing a lot of offensive linemen, I believe, defensive linemen.
Yeah, we are.
And linebackers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we have Bones Jones. He'd probably take up that road.
No, Bones Jones is a redshirt senior. He played for Tom Allen.
It says right here, Isaiah Jones is a junior on the scholarship.
I thought he was a senior this year because I know he played with Tom. He played for Tom Allen because he came in and got hurt.
Right.
Oh,
It says he's a junior.
But some of the defensive players from this last game, I just wanted to shout out to. Of course, the interception we had was amazing again. Our safeties have played really well this year. Lewis Moore had that interception. It was great. Hardy, he had 6 solo tackles, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss.
Our boys got there back in that backfield so quick.
Yeah, we had pressure on them all game long.
And that's exactly the one thing I said whenever we talked last week and on Thursday. I said Sane has never had pressure up in his face and having to worry about his pocket collapsing.
Right.
And guess what? We came in with those 0 blitzes that the lineman couldn't keep up against. Sane got nervous. He couldn't make a decent throw. Only good throw that he got out of it is when it hit Smith halfway down the road on Pons, which again is kind of funny to me because Pons only let that happen once and he didn't let it happen again.
No, he didn't. He did a great job. But so our Tyreek Tucker, that's one of those another ones that people haven't realized, haven't talked about much this year, but he's been fantastic. And Mario Landino, of course, you're going to have him for a while. He had a sack too. So it's going to be very interesting to see
where this all pans out to be.
Right.
Yeah, but
we have this next game to think about. We need to prepare for this next game. It's what it is.
Yeah, I already had I've already thought about it with Alabama and Oklahoma. Obviously, I won't be able to watch that game. You'll be able to watch it.
Yeah,
I'll be driving.
Yeah, you'll be driving to Florida.
Yeah, so probably listen to it over the radio.
The next 2 weeks are going to be kind of busy.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're going to do with the show, but we're going to try to have it.
We'll record probably out, on that back patio.
Yeah.
Probably with your phone.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it updated as we go along.
Yeah, because Chase and I will be leaving for Florida this weekend. Yeah. And then we'll fly back.
Which I already have the old game of Alabama, Oklahoma already up.
Yeah.
It's on my phone. I downloaded the game so I can watch film.
Yeah.
On the 12th. It'll be the 14th on a ride back. Not a ride back, but a flight back.
Flight back. We can watch a game.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch a little bit of film while we're up there in the air because I hate airplanes.
And then the following weekend.
Yeah, then some.
Chase and his family are going to go down to Florida, and I'm going to be taking my wife and grandson to Florida. We're flying, and Chase is driving. I think he's going to be taking the truck down. But yeah, so we're going to try. It might be a different schedule. We don't know yet. We're going to try to do it, but
yeah, we'll let it pan out however it needs to be.
Yeah, we might have a different schedule. But thank you for everybody for coming on the show today. God bless and have a great day. Go Hoosiers. Great job this season. Let's keep it up and keep the ball rolling forward and finish finish our goal. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.